Hello all, it's me, Andy, from Blitz Gaming. Hope you're having a great day. Today's video, an update on Intel's drivers for ARC. Number 4255. See how it runs, and plus today we will take a look at the UI. We've not looked at the UI before, because I've said it was crap, and to be honest with you, it's still crap. It's an improvement, but it's still crap. But yeah, we'll have a look at it, what function it does. Plus, I've recorded 5 games I played with the ARC GPU using AV1 encoder. Just see how to show you how it's come out and how it works. And then to also talk about the drivers, as we always do. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so with the certified driver, 4255, we've got game support for Resident Evil 4, Elden Ring, ray tracing mode. Now I've seen some screenshots on the ray tracing. Yeah, it's designed to make it look more realistic, but I personally thought it looked better without the ray tracing. And yes, it does have a bit of an impact on your graphics, a good 25% smash. And that was on, if I remember right, a 3070 graphic card. So yeah, don't have those games, so I can't actually say how much of an impact it has on the Intel graphic card. Performance boosts, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, D5 render, Blender preview mode, and Counter-Strike for laptops. Well, we don't play on laptops, don't have a laptop. It doesn't say how much of performance, but it says there's performance. What? I don't know. But any performance is a bonus. Fixed issues. I think these are the same bugs. Well, fixed issues. We've got Conqueror's Blade, DirectX 11, benchmark corruption. So, don't have Conqueror's Blade. Don't have Portal with RTX. Loading screen being fixed. Overwatch in DirectX 12 mode. Lag freeze on the loading screen. I don't remember having that problem personally with all the cards. There was obviously freezing in the game originally, but that was all fixed. So, don't know, that must be a new one. I have to check that one out. Call of Duty, crashing a game. I think when I've done all the testing, I don't remember having any crashes. And I have played it on some graphic cards halfway through the game. Don't remember having that problem in any crashing, but the game's been updated several times since then, so anything's possible. I need to go back and have a look, really, and see what it's like. Known bugs, I think these are the same bugs from day one. Flight sim in DirectX 11 mode crashes. Again, don't have flight sim. Diablo 4 corruption for the beta. Well, the beta's finished now. Got to wait 2 months for it to come out. So that'll probably be fixed anyway by the time it comes out. Well, I hope so. Sea of Thieves don't have colour corruption. System hang from sleep. Well, the best way to go around that is basically turn sleep off. Then you won't have it. GPU hardware acceleration on Adobe has now been, well, it's still there. So yeah, that is not just an Intel thing. This is an Adobe thing. Because if you look at AMD drivers and NVIDIA drivers, they say the same thing in their drivers. So you have to mind that Adobe if you're using Adobe. Blender, Nishita Sky. It's obviously a bug in there. Don't know what. Color corruption. DaVinci Resolve, more color corruption. So it's obviously something gone wrong where their drivers are sort of not doing the color. But considering Intel's UI don't work great, which we'll be having a look at in a second. Anything's possible when it comes to the color mode. Okay, let's have a quick look at the UI fixes. Okay, so they fixed an issue with a codec sometimes it'll pick HVAC over AVC. How to fix that. Fix sliders not going to default values, which is good, I suppose, in one way. But like I said, there's lots of bugs in the UI, which again we'll see in a second. Bugs, known bugs. Yeah, this has been there from day one. Windows UAC admin. You need to install ARC software. Pain in the backside, really. So every time you turn it on, it comes up on the screen. You want to install ARC. It's like, yeah, I do want to install it. So every time you start your system up, it's just a pain. So live performance charts, like the graphs, may not apply correctly to the metrics. So best way to get around it, press the reset button. Resizable bar may incorrect give you the value. Now I've seen that there is definitely a bug there. Sometimes it says it's not on it. So yeah, I do have resizable bar on because I've checked it several times, and I do make sure every time I do testing now, resizable bar is turned on. And yes, when you're doing capture mode, again, yeah, I can confirm this one. That's a bit of an odd one, this one. If you record the screen, the desktop, now I need to do it on a desktop, not in games. One, it crashes, and secondly, it makes removable files which you can't read anyway. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Now also it does state that the UI is actually in beta, so yeah, that's the reason why it's all buggy. So they're constantly updating it, trying to fix things. I mean, it's been a long time since it came out now, what, 6 months? And you think they would get somewhere with it by now. Okay, it's better than what it was. I mean, it was even a real nightmare when it first came out, so it's a bonus. Okay, let's move on. Just as a note, I couldn't find anything wrong with Total War. I had no problem when I played it. Call of Duty Warzone, again, I couldn't see nothing wrong there. Conqueror's Blade don't have. The Plague of Requiem don't have. And obviously Battlefield 2042, I had no problems there either. I tested them out for about half an hour, over and over again, going through stuff, and I couldn't find no problems. I was going to look at the beta driver as well, but it's got more bugs than the qualifier driver, so we won't bother looking at that. So here's the UI at the end of the day. Yeah, it's nice and clear, good clarity, a lot better than what we got with NVIDIA, but a long way from being AMD's set up. On the right hand side there, you can set up when to check if there's a new driver, the time of day, what time of day you want to see when it comes down, that sort of stuff. Or if you're like me, I just press the button, see if there's a new driver. So not a problem really. And it'll come up on the left hand side, new driver available, where the bell is. So yeah, not bad at the end of the day. So you can see there we've got 4255 driver running. You see there you got like expand button, top right there. I wouldn't press that. When you do that, it ain't clear like it is now. It's like a stretch. It's awful. And it's another thing what Intel really need to fix. So let's go through the features on the left hand side. Okay, we go down to the game tab. Now this wasn't working correctly when I was trying the other day. You got world scan, couldn't find nothing. A bit useless really, but there you are. Now you can set up global settings just like AMD and NVIDIA, or you can do application settings. Now I've not tried any of these settings on the right hand side, considering it's like a constant beta at the moment and needs fixing. I just left it at game settings and not touched anything. They're supposed to give you a pretty good performance boost if you try them, but when it came out originally, it where it wasn't actually working. It was like it didn't do a lot. It was awful. So so I never looked at it until now, really. But yeah, I'll probably still not touch them. Those sort of settings, I just leave them as they are. All the games we've tested seem to work fine. So I wouldn't worry about those sort of settings until really start getting this UI working correctly. Originally, you couldn't actually even move the box; it was just stuck. And if there's anything behind it, any writing behind it, you go to click on one of these tabs and it click on the writing behind it, which was really awful. So again, you've got the application settings for the individual games. You want things to run. Again, I would just leave it as it is. So we've got system info tab, tells you about CPU and GPU. Tells you all your bandwidth, all that sort of stuff. Which is pretty good at the end of the day. Can't complain with that. Always comes out handy every now and then to know what your GPU is doing, especially when you've got several cards like me, because I can't remember everything these days. What does what from one card to another. So it comes handy just have a quick look what's going on. You've got the about button, tells you about the software license, which does anybody actually ever read? So yeah. So now we've got the game tab. You can set up your games. As I said earlier, your auto scan didn't work. Didn't find any of the games, so I had to manually install them. Once you start the game, it works no problem. It's just you couldn't find them on the hard drive anywhere. The games, auto scan, and then you can obviously set up each individual game or use the global settings. And as I said earlier, I'll just leave it as it is. Now I quite like this idea, and it comes up on the right hand side when you want to set up when you're playing an overlay for a game. The only thing which I thought was odd, they've not added an FPS counter to the listing. It's like, well, there's only two people going to have that up. One, if you've got a fault with your graphic card, see what sort of wattage and everything's running out, and people with benchmarking, see what frame rate you got up, and you ain't got no frame rate counter, which I just thought was bizarre. Yeah, bit of an odd one. Again, it's a nice setup. It's nice and clear. What we've got running. It just, as I said, it just doesn't have a frame rate counter. I mean, it's got the CPU, temperature gauge, as well as the GPU. So that's good. Fan speed and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I can't complain with that. And you have the ability to turn each one off. So that's a great feature. The next tab is broadcasting. Not try because I don't do no live streaming. May do one day. Depends what mood I'm into. You have to ask. Say to me if you want to see me stream games, play games. If get enough people say yes to it, I might do. But in the meantime, it's not really my thing really. I don't mind playing games. Also, I do play games, but streaming is another thing. Yeah, so you can change the settings, resolution, the data rate, and all that sort of stuff for the quality. Depends how good you want it to come out. So here's the capture, which I've tried, and we'll show you some videos in a second of what we've done. So yeah, you can go up to 1440p or 4K, change the frame rate, and now I've tried 4600 and 10,000 kbs for the testing. I've got to admit, quality-wise, for AV1, it was fantastic. No problems there. So this Company Hero 3, games in 1440p. We are recording it at 1080p, 30 frames a second at 4600 kbs. Now it looks fine, except when you move the map, it goes a bit blurry. Obviously, once we get up to 10,000 kbs, it gets rid of most of that, and obviously you can go, I think it goes up to like 28,000 or something like that, and you'll get rid of it, no problem. We've just done a few runs just to see how it come out. Otherwise, it runs fine, no problem. Picture quality is really good, except obviously when you move the screen, it goes a little slightly blurry. If you watch carefully, you can see it go blurry. And yeah, we get rid of most of the problem when we go up to the next level. Now switch over to 10,000 kilobits a second. You can see the quality has changed over 4.6. So yeah, no problem. It's the same map, just in a slightly different spot on the screen. So yeah, again, played well. And this is a direct recording from the computer. So I've not got no AV media hardware card installed or anything. This is direct graphic card recording straight out, right? On all the runs we've done. So yeah, it plays okay. If you look at the frame rate, we're not really getting a massive frame rate drop while it's recording as well, which is a bonus. Can't complain there. So yeah, yeah, I'm not going to complain at all with the quality. So now I'm recording in direct 1440p, going at 30 frames a second. Not tried 60. Just one of those things I didn't bother trying. But yeah, I mean, you can always go to 60, especially playing this game. Got plenty of frame rate. So again, 1440p, and again, with everything turned on. So we've got high settings in the game. Recording at 1440p, 10,000 kilobits a second. No problem at 30 frames a second. So yeah, yeah, picture quality looks great. There's no slowdown on the frame rate playing the game. So yeah, it's not really having any impact in the game at all. And again, as I said earlier, this is direct recording, no AV media hardware card for the recording. So yeah, perfect, no problem running AV1. The only thing I said earlier, if you try to record a desktop, for some reason it goes a bit nuts and crashes the system. So don't bother trying to do your desktop. Game wise, it seems to be working fine. Okay, switch over to Cyberpunk. We have 1440p ultra settings, and you can see the frame rate we're getting there. Again, not a massive impact on the recording. Picture quality is good on the recording. Game at 10,000 kbs. So yeah, not a problem at all running this game either. Yeah, obviously this game has a lot of detail. You'll soon notice it if there's any recording bugs. So yeah, we're not really complaining at all. Again with AV1 recording. Okay, we finished off with Battlefield 5. It's got a lot of explosions going on, so you won't see any glitches. Game at 10,000 kilobits a second, no problem. I've got to say, most importantly, there's no record hotkey button. Yeah, in the UI for the UI, which is ridiculous. You've got to go into the UI, press the record button, then go back to the game, carry on what you're recording. If you want to stop, you've got to go back to the UI to stop it. There's no hotkey at all for recording anything. Yeah, it's bizarre. Don't ask. Yeah, seen some things in Chelsea, just can't remember, do things properly. Very, very, very bizarre setup. Yeah, very, very, very odd. Okay, let's just finish off and that'll be done. Okay, so we had a look at the UI, and I said it was crap. Yes, it's better, but it's still poor, I would say. It needs a massive improvement. I think maybe Intel need to start putting more effort into it than what they have, because it's not very, very good at all. And yeah, you don't have a record button. If you don't do any capturing, don't have no record button for the hotkey for the record button. You've got to go into the UE, record, go back to the game, play the game, and go back to UE to turn it off. Daft. Yeah, I can't work that out. Now, obviously, the other thing was, for me, when I was recording the desktop, it crashed, and I got multiple files, and it did that every time. Tried it 6 times in a row, did it all 6 times, crashed. So yeah, so don't try recording the desktop or doing anything on the desktop. It might be because I was moving my mouse around, clicking on some of the other functions at the time on the UE while I was trying to record it. I don't know, but it did it at the same time over and over again on the desktop. So yeah, one of those things. Pitch quality wise, well, I've showed you, it's got very, very good pitch quality. Not complaining, even on 4,600 kilobits. Now those files only come out small. I mean, we're talking about 500 megs, it's not really tiny. I know they are only small at the time. But yeah, it was good. I mean, if you're going to do a fast game, yeah, you want to probably look 10, maybe 15,000 to make sure you don't get no blurriness when you move the camera around. If you're playing a fast game like that, so even on the 10,000, depends how fussy you are. It looks alright on the 10,000, but I mean, I would probably go higher, try and get rid of all the blurriness as possible. It's just me. At the end of the day, only thing you've got to remember, your files can be take up more and more space when you want to load them up to YouTube. So yeah, there's good things and bad things. But yeah, we tried it on Cyberpunk, Battlefield. There's no blurriness, running O2 games. Now if you had a flight sim flying around really fast, it may show up. Again, you'd have to change the settings at the end of the day to get the best setup for the game you're playing. So yeah, overall they are improving. Yeah, the UI and the drivers are improving for the games. So like, got no problems there. Does seem to have that corruption on Adobe. No, I don't use Adobe. That's been there for a long time, but again, it's an Adobe problem because it's in AMD and NVIDIA drivers as well. Game optimizations, what it said there. Well, it didn't say how fast it's improved and the programs, so we just say, okay, it's improved. Now, I was going to put the beta driver on there as well, which I think is 4257, but they had more bugs as listed, so I don't bother. Yeah, so if you want to install the beta, even though it's the latest driver, it may be you may get worse off than what you are with the certified driver. So yeah, otherwise fine. I had no problems installing it. As always, it's always installed fine for me. You just get the UAC come up every time you start your Windows. Yeah, you got to accept it. Pain. It's like, okay, Intel, fix it, will you? Things like that should be easily done. I don't know why it has not been done. It's like sometimes I think to myself, there must have one person sorting out the UI in an entire Intel corporation. But game wise, again, I haven't come across any games with one game, Battlefield 1. I got notified Intel, Battlefield 1's now got the same problem it had before, comes up with driver out of date, crash, can't play, end of story. So I have to notify Intel. They did fix it, and now it's not working again. So that's about it really. It's the only thing I couldn't find at this time. Otherwise that's it, and I'll see you in the next video. So have fun all, and don't forget to subscribe. Laters all.